Hey there. So today I'm going to try things a little differently, and I'm going to post a devotional and a teaching, and we'll see if I do it like this next week. But I figured the devotional is just a simpler summary of the Sunday sermon with some practical questions. And so I'm just going to read you the devotional summary. You're welcome to read chapter 17 of 1 Samuel on your own if you want. And then the other video that I'll post will just be a kind of verse-by-verse commentary of things that I've noticed. All right, so this is the devotional. And so I really encourage you to read 1 Samuel chapter 17. Pause this video, do that, and then come back and I'll read you the summary. All right, so here's the summary for 1 Samuel 17. This chapter is one of the greatest stories of the Old Testament. A small high schooler defeats a giant killing machine. It would be very easy to put ourselves into this story as David and say, in light of this, face down your own giants and defeat them. Have faith. Do better. But unfortunately, I think this would be a major misunderstanding of the text. Because our true enemies are not the people around us, in the political sphere or in our lives. Because something is driving the world around us. And something is driving these people. And when we see in this chapter, the person is the snake in the garden, our true great enemy, which is Satan and death, which comes from everyone and everything. But Jesus overcomes and overpowers death and Satan. And after having resurrected in Luke 24, Jesus said the Old Testament is ultimately about him. You and I are not called to be David. So if we're to read this story and look at it and apply it in our own lives, we are not meant to be David in the story. Jesus is our ultimate David, the champion who came and faced down the snake, death, and our sin, and bore and defeated them on the cross, and with his resurrection on our behalf. He fought for us and won the war for us. We are the Israelites in this story, who cheer and revel in his great victory and follow him and mop up the massacre in his path. When you and I open ourselves to this great reality, we will have his power, presence, and sweet friendship to help face the enemies of death and sin and Satan, and kick them in the teeth. So here are the questions I have for this week in this devotional, and as we hopefully reflect on this message. Are you trying to fight your own battles, or are you letting Jesus fight for them for you, and following him in his wake? Notice those are two very different things. You're still fighting, but Jesus is the one who's fighting the battles for you. And do you sense that? Have you stopped hating the people and started waging war in the spiritual realms through prayer? Paul said this, we fight not against flesh and blood, but against the powers and principalities of this current generation. And that's a pretty practical question. So let me ask it again. Have you stopped hating the people and powers around you and started waging war in the spiritual realms through prayer? And then I have a question. Do you feel or sense that you are living in his victory? Why or why not? So that's what we have for the devotional this week. God, I just thank you for Jesus and thank you for David fighting this battle for Goliath as a picture of Jesus, you coming and fighting for us, and that you have overcome our true enemies, which is sin, Satan, and death, and that you have overcome all of them and now call us to follow you as we strive to follow in your wake, knowing that the victory is yours. And we just thank you for that in your name. Amen. All right. Hope you have a great week, and hopefully I'll see you Sunday.